I've been meaning to do a post about fostering, and especially after seeing some videos. I had fostered Cecilia Kane, or as we called her, Cece, a deaf Boston in 2019. But my fostering was interrupted by a herniated disc that required surgery, and I wasn't even able to care for my own dogs for 4 months. Two of my four dogs were two little old men named Elliot and Fred. They both passed in July of 2023. Elliot, a bossy poo, and I had been together for 15 and a half years and had weathered many storms and losses together. Fred, a Shih Tzu, was my grandpup who had lymphoma. It was a huge loss, even though I knew it was time to let them cross the rainbow bridge. I'm okay till they're gone. My alpha girl Louise was also grieving and not her normal self. I saw a post from the Kentucky coordinator Rebecca about needing fosters, and I knew that that was the perfect solution to our current situation. And in doing so, I learned that I can be not as susceptible to being a foster fail, which a foster fail is adopting your own foster dog. My first foster dog this time around was this wild child, Murphy Blue, who was just a little over 1 year old. He wasn't surrendered because he had any problems, but rather because his owner wanted him to have a better life than a family with young children could give him. They were just too busy, and he spent too much time in a crate. I picked him up in Sevierville, Tennessee on my way home from Georgia. I was sure he was going to hyperventilate on the way to my house. My alpha girl perked up immediately. I'm attracted to intelligence, and this little guy was so smart. He quickly overcame all his fears. He trembled going downstairs the first time, but flew down them the second attempt. Everywhere we went, he was such a friendly little guy, except to my friend Rhonda's cats. I just fell in love with him, and I asked Susie, my coordinator, to be my voice of reason. Should I start talking about adopting him? Which she had to do because he grabbed hold of my heart. But I did write his bio and started talking to potential adopters. It wasn't easy, and I struggled with each conversation. You see, we really come to love our fosters, and they are a part of our pack for a while. And the thought of letting them go is quite painful at first. Then Savannah sent in an application. Here was a young couple who didn't have children, where he would have another dog to play with, and they didn't have cats. They were perfect on paper and even better on the phone. They drove all the way from Virginia Beach to my house, 7 hours. I met them in the garage with him, and Murphy Blue went to Savannah like she was his long lost mom, which filled me with a sense of a relief. I cried and cried when he was gone, but given how much time new fosters take, I thought I'd better get to painting my living room, dining area, and kitchen while I had a chance. I vaulted ceilings in this area, so I knew it was going to be time consuming. I'd almost finished a part of the first wall, which was located in the split foyer and was going to be the hardest with the stairs. I planned to have Thanksgiving at my house, and was the weekend before Thanksgiving. Then the call came that completely changed my feelings about fostering and foster fails. I think the most joyous I feel is when I get an update of a pup living their best life with their new family. It affirms to me that I chose the best parents for them, and they are able to give so much more attention than I could give them, and it frees me up to save another life. I've been working on a few dogs today, and I thought maybe I was too tired to do anything else tonight. But this is so important. For example, if Teresa, my foster in Erin, Tennessee, had been a foster fail with Spanky Sunshine, she wouldn't have been free today to take little Lola Grace, whose foster had a family emergency. So let's continue. I was painting my living room, and I get this call from the coordinator, Susie Cobb. I've got paint all over me, but I clean up quickly so I don't get it on my car, and I head out for White Pine, Tennessee, to a very rural area. There was a mix-up, and the person was still at work, so I sat outside a dilapidated mobile home that had tarps over some of the windows. Now, Susie had prepared me, so I wasn't surprised when the lady said the owner had died 10 days prior, had been estranged from his family, so they had no idea of his living conditions. The girls, Bella Beebe, 10, and Macy Me, 12, had some lumps. The lady told me prior to bringing them out that Macy had maggots on a big tumor. Bella had lost most of her hair on her back due to flea allergies. So I was prepared. The lady cried because I brought a big soft blanket for them to lay on in the crate. I'm still uncomfortable when people thank me for what I do. That's another story for another time. The girls smelled horrible, but I didn't say anything where the girls could hear it because I firmly believe they understand much more than we give them credit for. They were eerily silent the whole hour drive home. They were terrified. I put them in my master bathroom because I didn't want them to think they were alone again. Here they were that first night. It took bathing them 3 times before the stench came off. My pack was oddly quiet, and my alpha girl Louise hung back from the gate because I think she sensed they were ill and scared. Right before I go to sleep each night, I try to think of something I'm grateful for that happened that day. Emotion welled up in me as I realized if Murphy Blue hadn't been adopted, there was no way I could have jumped in the car to pick these 2 very ill, scared little girls up. And even though I got back into fostering for selfish reasons, my boys have passed. This is exactly what rescue was all about. I knew that tonight, as much as I may come to love a dog, I foster. I will never, ever become a foster fail, as there will always be Macy Me and Bella BB. I will always be ready to jump in the car and go pick them up as fast as I can. I don't always have that role of riding to a rescue now, since I've accepted the Tennessee coordinator role. And I still have Winston Wilder. But even though I didn't really want this role, I said I would do whatever the rescue needed because it's all about the dogs. But I found my experiences as a foster have benefited me as I can identify when a foster is crying their eyes out when their foster leaves with their new parents. And I can honestly tell them, wait until you get that first update and they are living their best life and you know you can save another. That is the most joyous feeling you will ever feel doing what we do. Some we don't get to soon enough. Macy Me was one of those. She passed 2 days before Christmas. I still cry about not being able to give her more of a good life. But that last month of her life was a good one, and I wouldn't take anything for that time. So this video is in memory of Macy Me. And I know you're wondering what happened to little Miss Attitude, Bella BB. She hit the jackpot with a doting mom, Ariana, who dresses her up, takes her for walks in the neighborhood where she can be the nosy little dog keeping tabs on everyone. Because Bella was adopted, when I got the next phone call about a little boy who had bitten someone and they might euthanize him. And because Bella was adopted, I could say yes. You all know that little guy. Many of you have fallen in love with my little scoundrel Winston out there because I wasn't a foster fail with Bella. One my grandgirl will probably never forgive me for. I was able to save Winston's life.